Hi, everyone. Welcome to another installment of WYTPod, the online community for e-commerce business owners and founders. Today, we have a very special guest with us. He is the author of 3 books, including his latest, Retail in the Age of I, which explores the future of retail propelled by the exponential growth of technology. He is the founder and CEO of CART, the Center for Advancing Retail and Technology. He is a keynote speaker at retail industry conferences around the world, and he's a regular guest lecturer at Georgetown University's McDonough School of Business, along with other leading universities. His name is Gary Hawkins. Gary, thanks a lot for taking time out of your busy schedule to join us today. How are you?
Great. Thank you, Mark. And great to be with you today. Glad we were able to finally get schedules synced up here so we could do this.
Absolutely. Same here. So would you like to just share a little bit about your background?
Sure. And I'll try to make a long story very short, but I literally grew up in the supermarket business here in the U.S. market. My family owns some stores and wholesale business. And how I got from that to this, I actually launched one of the first loyalty programs in the U.S. supermarket sector, 28 years ago. I really date myself here, but drove a lot of early industry learning around customer data, understanding customer behavior through all that data, and customer level economics, if you will, at retail. Just an exciting time, opened up a whole new world, of the retail business, able to really, for the first time, not only measure, but understand the business from a true shopper perspective, not just from a product lens, but went on to work with a number of leading retailers here in the U.S. market, other markets around the world. That work then branched out into work with some of the big CPG brand companies like P&G, Unilever, and others, helping them understand what retailers were doing with all this data and develop more and more of a shopper focus. Then understanding, the supply chain, and in particular how marketing funds flow across the supply chain, became very focused on the inefficiency of that, the waste in mass marketing, and became very focused on personalization. Actually built the first 2 personalized marketing capability for mass retail, 15 years ago. And then more and more over the years have been pulled into the world of technology. So CART's mission today is really to help identify and guide into the industry all this new innovation, new capabilities, new technologies, and help everyone understand what to do with these things.
Fantastic. You mentioned supply chain, and I'd just like to say that most of the people that I talk to, for them that's a big pain point, supply chain. So can you expand on that a little bit and how you help people with that?
Sure. So, I guess from our particular perspective, what we really focus on is the role of innovation or new capabilities right across the supply chain. And that can be everything from actually, new methods of food production. Believe it or not, there's all sorts of activity happening on the farms and in different businesses, like the beef business, poultry business, et cetera. But growing automation, so robotics on the farm to not only plant crops but harvest crops and so on. Tracking product through the supply chain, as it's moved from the source to different distribution centers. Helping document sourcing and transparency through the supply chain. Obviously, a lot going on at distribution centers with robotics and automation today, including automated, trucks and so on that are increasingly on the roads, moving that product from place to place, and then certainly at the store and to the shopper.
Right. It's very complex, and
Yes.
yeah, and it's a big thing for people to get their arms around. So
Yeah,
I'm sure
absolutely.
there's a great need for that. And can you touch on marketing? What role digital marketing plays in your education programs?
Coming from my background, my experience, operating retail for a number of years, leveraging all this customer data, I go pretty deep in marketing, digital marketing, personalization, et cetera, right? There's just an immense amount of activity happening around marketing today. You know, certain things that you see every day in the newsletters and so on around personalization and relevancy, but something that's happening that is not as often talked about is automation. When we talk about automation, most people immediately think about robots and automated distribution centers and so on. But there's another side to automation that's around software automation, process automation, leveraging software. And this is really beginning to kick into gear now in different areas of retail. One of those in particular is in the world of marketing. Leveraging big data, leveraging artificial intelligence, machine learning systems to automate a growing portion of marketing and different steps in creating marketing campaigns and executing them.
Right. Fantastic. So finally, is there any message that you'd like to share with anyone who's looking to get into this kind of business?
So I think, when we think about retail, we think about e-commerce, we think about digital, there's really a handful of things that I think people need to keep sort of top of mind here. The first is that shopper or customer user experience is all important today. And, while I hear a lot of marketers, retailers speak to that, I still see a lot of issues out there, right? And, when I say user experience, there can be and are a lot of nuances to that. But even if we start with some of the basics, ensuring that you're delivering a seamless user experience and similar user experience across devices, right? So think about what Amazon does. I can be at my desk on my desktop or my notebook, on Amazon.com. I can add things to my shopping list, so on and so forth. I can turn and pick up my iPad and instantly pick up where I left off from my notebook or my desktop, right? The things I just added to my shopping list, I see now when I turn on my iPad. And I can do whatever I want to do on that. I can put that down and pick my smartphone up and open up the Amazon app. And again, seamless, real time, everything is there. And it's the same look and feel, same user experience, same, buttons, lists, etc. It may seem like it's basic, but there's still many, many retailers that are not delivering that type of experience. And that is just so important today. I continue to run into retailers that, have over time sort of cobbled together different digital pieces. Their website is powered up by this agency or that company. They've gone somewhere else for their mobile app. They do something else for email and text messaging and so on. So it's all these pieces they've tried to cobble together. And, some have done that more or less successfully, but it makes for a really disjointed, disparate, poor user experience. So that, I guess that's the first big thing I'd call out. But rolled into that user experience are several other things. The importance of personalization and relevancy. And again, we can use Amazon as a great example of this, right? Every time you open up Amazon.com, what you're seeing presented to you there is being driven by what you looked at the last time you were on the site, items you just purchased, items you've added to your shopping list, things you've browsed for, searched for, etc. So every time I go there, that experience is being personalized, it's being made relevant to me. And again, that is so important. And there's all sorts of statistics out there, showing the importance and the value of providing that personalized and relevant experience. Now, the third piece is connected to those first two, is the use of different attributes for products that are being sold to aid in searching and aid in filtering, right? Again, it's all part of this user experience. So,
Yep.
I spend a lot of my time in the world of grocery and food retail. So, as a shopper, if I go to a retailer's website and I am diabetic or I have a gluten allergy or whatever, I want to be able to quickly sort their product catalog or their product offering by those different attributes, right? Show me all the products that are suitable for diabetic, or show me all the products in this category or that category that are gluten-free. I'm seeing a lot of retailers making progress in this area, but there's a long way to go. And that idea of product attributes obviously goes way beyond simply food retailing. That's an easy example, but whatever products that online merchant is selling, the more attributes, the more filters that you have available to you, both get used in personalizing, what that shopper is seeing when they come to your site, and giving them the tools to filter through quickly the massive number of products on your site to find what they're really looking for.
Absolutely. We use Amazon as an example around here all the time as well. Obviously, everyone does. So machine learning is, a big part of the world today, and creates a profile for you, and it'll suggest subscriptions for stuff you buy every month. And it'll also bring up stuff that you bought a year ago. And then I often find myself buying, repurchasing things that I bought from a year ago. So, yeah, so if you're not competing on that level, then you're just not really competing, because nobody has the attention span these days. Everyone watches videos that are 3 minutes long now. Nobody can hang around. And if they have to work too hard to buy some detergent online, they won't buy it from you. They'll buy it from someone else.
No, that's absolutely right. So, I guess it's sort of the foundation. What we're talking about here, it's all about data, right? Yeah. And, sort of related to that is an area where many retailers of all sizes have problems, is around that data, and let's call it data discipline, right? Ensuring that you've got accurate product descriptions, accurate pricing, accurate attributes on that product. When a new product is brought on board, that you've got all that correct information there that's been assigned. It's assigned to the right categories, departments. All those attributes are again gathered and made available, and so on. And it's a lot. It's an awful lot. Just again, I'll use grocery as an example. Typical supermarket's got 40,000 SKUs in it. 40,000 different products. And when you look across stores in markets, that number explodes to double or triple that. So maintaining that data discipline is not a simple thing, but it is just so important.
Right. And then if you're marketing online, you have to find an efficient way of directing people who are making searches to your website.
Yes.
So that's the next level. So yeah, there are layers and layers and layers.
No, that's right. To your point, if you're using, SEO or any kind of digital advertising off your properties, the idea being to drive people to your properties, but then, making sure that experience is a good one when you get them there.
Well, it looks like you're providing a really valuable service. We'll have contact details in the description below. And Gary, I want to thank you again for spending the time today. Really valuable information. I appreciate what you're doing for everyone out there.
All right. Well, I appreciate you reaching out to me, and glad we were able to work this out. But no, happy to be with you. And certainly, yes, Mark, if you want to make my contact information available to your listeners, happy to talk with anyone. And I guess I would just leave this thought with your listeners, right? That while there's a lot happening today, from another perspective, today is going to be the slowest pace of change we're going to experience for the rest of our lives, right? Innovation continues to grow. It is not going to slow down. We have sort of rounded the inflection point on this exponential growth curve of computer processing power, of the exponential growth of data. We've got AI that is feeding on all of that. So all of this has just created a flywheel that is growing momentum, powering all this new innovation capabilities every day.
Well said. It's like a snowball rolling downhill, and
Yes.
the world is getting faster and faster and faster every day.
That's right.
No doubt
That's
about
right.
it.
So a lot to keep up with.
Sure. I'm glad we have someone like you to help us do that.
Exciting times.
Thanks again, Gary. Appreciate it.
All right. Thank you very much.